Mr. Chair, you are live.
All right, thanks, Julian. Good evening, everybody. We'll call to order the regularly scheduled virtual meeting of the Alcoholic Beverage Control Board, Wednesday, December 7th, 2022 at 7:01 p.m. Board members present tonight, we have Vice Chair Kia Baskerville, Dick Peterson, Claire Conger, Ryan Chitwood, and my name is Jimmy Praley. Also present tonight, we have City Attorney Mike Lyles and Deputy City Clerk Cynthia Gaines. As the board had the opportunity to review the minutes of our last two meetings, that would be November 2nd, 2022, and our emergency meeting of November 15th, 2022. And if so, do we have any additions, corrections, or modifications?
No.
I move they be
Nothing.
accepted.
Second.
All right.
Yeah.
All those in favor say aye.
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 All right, the minutes will stand as approved. Before we get into our regular business, let's state for the record that since this is a virtual hearing, anybody wishing to submit public testimony may do so by way of written testimony to be submitted as part of the official record. You may do so by going to www.annapolis.gov/ABC. And now I will declare our public hearing open. First item on the public hearing agenda tonight, an application for the transfer of an alcoholic beverage license class A-2B beer and light wine on sale 6 a.m. to midnight, 7 days a week with a special Sunday license. In addition to beer and wine tasting, this is by Randy Sue Sadlick for the premises known as TBCS Annapolis LLC, trading as the Big Cheese, 47 Randall Street, Annapolis, Maryland, 21401. And I see Randy is connecting right now.
Yeah,
Give it a
Mr. Chair,
sec. Yep.
He's been connecting it for a little bit now. I'm thinking he might have an issue.
Okay.
If you want to maybe move to the next one, while I'll get him try and figure out what's going on with him.
Randy, can you hear us?
Yeah, he doesn't have any audio showing up yet.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, we'll Julian, if you want to try to tackle that and see if you can take care of that, I'll move to the next item and we'll come back to it. Julian, just feel free to interrupt me when you get Randy connected, okay?
All right, sounds good.
All right, thanks. So we'll move to the next item on our agenda, which is an application for an upgrade of an alcoholic beverage license by El Chivo LLC, trading as El Chivo. This is a request for an upgrade class B-4 beer and light wine to a B-4 beer, wine, and liquor on sale 6 a.m. to 12 midnight, 7 days a week with a special Sunday license by Brandon and Caitlin Bartlett for the premises known as El Chivo LLC, trading as El Chivo, located at 137 Prince George Street, Annapolis, Maryland, 21401. Brandon, can you unmute yourself?
Got it.
Thanks. And do you have Miss Bartlett next to you there?
She is actually inside with the kids. Do you need her out
Okay.
here?
I don't know. Phil, are you going to have her testify?
No.
Or is Brett? Okay. Gotcha. All right. No, that's okay right now. So Brandon, if we could just get your name and address for the record, and Phil, I'll ask you to do the same.
Yeah, Brandon Bartlett, 500 State Street, Annapolis, Maryland, 21403.
All right. Thanks. And Mr. Dales?
Phil Dales, Dales Associates, 238 West Street.
All right. Thank you. Mr. Bartlett, if you could raise your right hand, we're going to administer the oath. Do you solemnly swear and affirm under the penalties of perjury that the responses given to the questions asked will be true and correct?
Yes.
Okay, great. Thanks. All right. This is an application for an upgrade. With that, I'll turn it over to Mr. Dales to go ahead and present your client's case.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We're going to present this case mostly through proffer and then some testimony from Mr. Bartlett to give the board a sense of the nature of the establishment and how that relates to the request we're making for the upgrade.
Sure.
In the way of proffer and a reminder for the board, this license was recently granted for beer and wine at this location, 41 Randall. And at the time, I think I may have even mentioned at the hearing that we weren't able to seek beer, wine, and liquor because of a restriction, sort of an old-fashioned restriction on a zoning approval, the special exception which allows the restaurant here. That has a condition of approval that specifically prohibited liquor from way back when that special exception was issued, I think originally to the current mayor's first restaurant in town. So in the years since then, the area around the establishment has changed. And we, with the concept Mr. Bartlett has that you'll hear about again in a moment, see the need for the type of theme and concept that he's proposing here, and also a diminished impact from a liquor element to a beer, wine, liquor license in this location at a place like of this type. So with that in mind, we went to the Board of Appeals and modified the zoning approval so that the zoning no longer has a condition prohibiting liquor. They were enthusiastic about removing that. There was no challenge, and there was, I think, one person from the public who made a comment of concern, but it was, I think, a misguided comment, a misinformed comment, thinking that this would be a late night bar establishment like the others on Market Space and on Dock Street. So Mr. Bartlett will clarify that for this board. And with that proffer, I will ask Mr. Bartlett to answer a few questions about the concept. So Mr. Bartlett's already been sworn in. I'll just go ahead and get started. Brandon, could you please just tell the board a little bit about the menu and the concept, and specifically what makes it unique in Annapolis?
Well, it's more of it's a Latin fusion concept that I've had help with from a few of the chefs at Sailor. So it's going to be, a modern take that will, I mean, the menu is going to change. It's hard to explain, it's a hard type of menu to explain, but it'll be like not just your regular tacos. It'll be more of like deconstructed empanadas and different takes on dips and Latin inspired soups. And so we were kind of like being creative with it, and in that trying to match the alcohol to complement the actual menu. It's like, a modern, I already said a modern take, but a fancier take, for the lack of a better term. But
is that sort of that take on Latin fusion what made you seek this location specifically, or why you think it's needed in this part of town?
I think it's a great spot. I think it's kind of a lost corner, and I want something there that will make an impact, both culinary and for the neighborhood. It's been a lot of different things over the years, and I think this is a concept that can hold strong.
And so do you feel like this is a unique concept for the city as a whole and this special neighborhood of the city?
I do, yeah. Like I said, I keep saying modern take, but there's, for lack of a better description, it's going to be something that hasn't been seen before in the downtown area, especially around docks, the docks and downtown. But
I'd remind the board, you've all heard a lot about this before. We recently, described the concept when you approved and issued the license. So just wanted to remind the board of that uniqueness, and then also have Mr. Bartlett now, please, Brandon, just tell us why the need for liquor is important now that we're able to do that through removal of the zoning restriction.
Well, I think it goes along with any other similar type of progressive menu where you want the drinks to be able to match what you're putting out on the plates. So you want to be able to, not that beer and wine is a bad way to go, but being able to offer our take on an actual alcoholic beverage menu would be very beneficial for the restaurant.
So what types of drinks do you see putting on the menu with a Latin fusion concept?
Oh man. Well, definitely like a margarita, but I don't want to really there's a couple different things that we've been working on, but it would definitely be in the vein of tequilas and nice vodkas and along with nice wine and beer.
Just to ask this question simply, do you find that the liquor and the cocktail element of the menu is especially important to the concept and making this a unique offering?
I do, yes.
Okay, great. And just as a reminder for anyone on the board who may have forgotten or who wasn't here for the first menu, you do already operate another institution in the city dock area, do you not?
Yes. Well, Rise Up Coffee, and we're also in Pearl and Arnold and all across the Eastern Shore, but we have restaurant concepts, and we in Rehoboth have a full bar and operate that location as such.
So I'll ask two questions about that. One, does that location give you a good sense of the neighborhood so you understand the benefits and the challenges that are there at City Dock?
Yes, yeah, of course. But I feel like we can navigate those well. The good
Right.
and
And you also have a lot of experience with these other restaurants, not just City Dock, but the others across town in operating orderly establishments. You know how to make sure that the customers and people out on the sidewalk are peaceful and don't disrupt the community and the neighborhood.
yes, of course.
Okay, great. And with the service of liquor, in addition to beer and wine, that would still be the case, right? Your employees wouldn't treat people any differently or serve them any differently because of the type of beverage they're serving.
No, definitely not. Sorry, you gotta excuse my camera work. I'm on the way to Memphis with my kids. So I'm in the parking lot in front Royal, Virginia. So my lights just went out, but
I can still see it.
yeah. Okay, good.
Yeah, so just you're familiar with the rules and regs of the board and that govern this license, and right,
Yes.
and your employees are going to be alcohol awareness trained. I think we already stated that.
Oh, yeah. Of course.
Okay, thank you. So Mr. Bartlett, I asked about the neighborhood just to make sure that you will keep the same operating conditions to the same early hours that we've told the board about before. We're not going to be open past midnight. Is that right?
Right.
Okay. And so that also differentiates your proposal from the others in the area. And also, I would ask you not create an impact from liquor. The people who you're serving, whether it's margaritas, beer, or wine, will be finishing early, and the place will be closing up and not adding to any kind of commotion past midnight.
Right. Absolutely.
Okay. Well, Mr. Chairman, I think we conclude our case there and with the written materials that we submitted addressing all the criteria for the modification. So if the board has any questions for me or Mr. Bartlett, we'll take them.
All right, thank you, Mr. Dales, and thank you, Mr. Bartlett. I just want to bring this to your attention, Mr. Dales. We have something from Alderwoman Tierney, who indicates that she has some concern with sound transmission due to these historic windows. I don't know if you want to address that, but that's something that the board received. So there is a concern about sound, and I understand you've placed on the record that you're not going to be open past midnight. I just wanted to give you the opportunity to address that.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I would say it's a concern that if it's relevant to the issuance of the license at all, not the modification to add liquor. I think the alcohol awareness training that Mr. Bartlett's referred to earlier is going to mean the same conditions inside the restaurant, whether they're serving beer, wine, and margaritas. So if there is any issue with sound transmission, I don't think there would be due to the windows. I don't think that's really germane to the addition of liquor, the modification we're requesting.
Okay. All right. Thanks. I just wanted to give you the chance to respond to that. With that, I'll turn it over to the board to see if any members have any questions. Dick.
Brendan, excuse me. You mentioned restaurants on the Eastern Shore. Are you in full partnership with him?
Not full rise up wise, not the rude side of operations, but everything.
Not on the food side.
Not on the rude restaurants, but all of our the majority of our rise up locations have Mad Eggs, which runs as a full restaurant concept, whether it's out of a food truck in Parole or full service in Edgewater and Arnold. That's the restaurant I was referring to.
Yeah, you mentioned the beach, so that's why I was
asking. Yeah, so Rise Up, Tim and I are partners with the Rise Up side of business, not the other restaurants in the East.
Not the restaurants. Okay,
right.
Good. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And just for your information, I've had a number of people that have been walking by, seeing your sign, wondering what type of food you are going to be serving. So thank you for trying to describe that.
Yeah, of course. We're very excited.
All right. Any other questions from any members of the board?
Brandon, do you think you're going to be open till midnight, or are you?
No, I have years of playing music and being in bars till 2. I would like to be closed by 10 in order to get home and Rise Up opens at 6, so there's a limit on the amount of energy I have past 10 o'clock.
All right, any other
And-
questions? Oh, sorry, Claire, go ahead.
Yeah, no, so I was just going to say, being involved with Rise Up, you will make, because I know of a couple of young families in the neighborhood. I know staying open till 10, that's fine, but just, you'll be a good neighbor. You'll have somebody there should there be a noise complaint or
Yes.
concerns about noise.
Of course, yeah. We'll be on top of everything.
Okay,
Definitely.
because there's some kids in the neighborhood. And,
Yeah, I've seen them all kind of running around. Yeah. No, we'll definitely be mindful of everybody's children, and the late night hours is not something that we're interested in doing.
Thank you.
Okay, anything else? All right, well, hearing none, do I hear a motion regarding this application for an upgrade of an alcoholic beverage license to a B/4 beer, wine, and liquor on sale 6 a.m. to 12 midnight, 7 days a week with a special Sunday license for the premises known as El Chivo LLC, trading as El Chivo, 137 Prince George Street, Annapolis, 21401.
I move.
Second.
I'll second.
All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right, your request is approved. Good luck, guys.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Mr. Chair, the people for the first item are now on.
We're good? Okay, well then we'll go back to the application for a transfer of a Class A-2B beer and light wine license on sale 6 a.m. to midnight, 7 days a week with a special Sunday license. In addition, beer and wine tasting by Randy Sue Sadlick for the premises known as TBCS Annapolis LLC, trading as the Big Cheese, 47 Randall Street, Annapolis, 21401. Randy, are you there?
I am. I think if I hit my start video, it's going to put me back on video, right?
I should. That's the goal.
Okay,
There you
can
go.
you see me?
Oh, no,
All right.
you were on for just a second. Try one more time. There you go.
There you are, Randy.
Hi, and yep, I'm here.
Okay, great. Could you just raise your right hand real quick? I'm going to administer the oath. Do you solemnly swear and affirm under the penalties of perjury that the statements you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Okay, great. And could you just give us your full name and address for the record?
Sure. Randy Sue Sadlick, 127 Sumner Road, Annapolis, Maryland, 21401.
All right, great. Why don't you tell us a little bit about what you're requesting tonight?
So I've been on the beer and wine license and liquor license for 20 years alongside mom and dad. And after many powwows over the past few months or year, we decided that mom and dad were going to take a step back, kind of semi-retire, and that I'm going to jump in and be there the hours and days that mom are there now. So we would like to take mom and dad off the license and just keep myself on there.
Okay. And how long have you been there for? You said 20 years?
The business will be 30 years, 20 years currently on Randall Street and 10 years in the Market House.
Okay, and you've been working there pretty much the whole time?
Uh-huh.
Okay, all right. So you're pretty familiar with this board's rules and regulations and.
Yep, I've done the alcohol training. I've done everything.
Perfect. All right. Is there going to be any change to the operation aside from you being there a heck of a lot more?
Absolutely not.
All right. Does the board have any questions regarding this request?
I think most of us are very familiar with the Big Cheese, and some of us are familiar with the daughter of the owners, ex-owners of Big Cheese, Randy.
I'm the daughter, huh?
Oh, I know you're the daughter.
And I'm the mother.
Yeah, the mother.
And Daddy is right here too. I would like to move to approve this.
Second.
I'll second.
All right. All those in favor say aye.
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 All right. Your request is granted. Good luck.
Thank you,
Thank you.
guys. Happy
Thank
holidays
you.
and come down and see us.
Thanks. We'll do.
All right, bye.
Good night, Randy.
Okay. That is the last item on our public agenda. So we will declare the public hearing closed and we'll turn to our regular new business. First is an application for the addition of a licensee on the alcoholic beverage license for 90 Miles to Cuba Inc., trading as the Boatyard Bar and Grill, 400 to 412 4th Street, Annapolis, Maryland, 21403. And I see Mr. Christoph's here, and I see Kevin's here too, and Dick. Oh, Dick Peterson. Sorry, I thought you were Dick Frania for some reason.
Hey, I wish. I wish. Kevin would be in deep duty.
All right.
I am here.
Oh, there he is. Okay,
Oh, there he
he's
is.
just a phone number. He's just a phone number here.
Hello, everyone.
Hey, Dick.
Mr. Christoph, if you could just introduce your clients here tonight, put your name and address on the record. We'll have your clients do the same, and then I'll let you present your case, okay? Oh, Tony, you're on mute right now.
Is that better?
Yep, much better.
Tony Christoph, I'm the attorney for 90 Miles to Cuba Inc., trading as the Boatyard. My address is, my professional address, 150 South Street, Annapolis, Maryland, Suite 206, 21401. Mr. Frania, would you indicate your name and address?
Sure, Richard Franyo, 29 Eastern Avenue in Eastport, 21403.
And Kevin?
My address is 412 Gulf Course Drive, Arnold, Maryland, 21012.
All right, thank you all. Go ahead, Tony.
Mr. Chairman, what I'd like to do is proceed by proffer of Mr. Franio's testimony and Mr. Schendel's testimony, if that's agreeable to the board.
Sure, absolutely.
Dick would indicate that he's the president, treasurer, and owner of 55 shares of common stock in 90 Miles to Cuba Inc. He's also a licensee. His wife, Susan, is the owner, excuse me, his former wife, Susan, I could get in trouble with that one, 44.5 shares of the corporation and a licensee. Mr. Schendel has been appointed vice president and issued a half a share of stock in the corporation. Dick would indicate that all shares are fully paid, that the purpose of the application is to add Kevin Schendel as the licensee and as the qualifying applicant on the license. The reason the corporation is pursuing this course of action is because his former wife now resides in Georgia, and Dick wants the ability to travel, and the corporation needs to have someone, a resident, available to serve as the qualifying applicant on the license. Kevin will indicate to you that he has been the general manager of the corporation for 17 years. His name and address have been indicated. He's a registered voter in Anne Arundel County and has been for 6 years. His residence has been at 6 years at the address indicated. He's been a registered voter for 18 years. He's a shareholder in 90 Miles to Cuba. He's a vice president. He would indicate to you that the information furnished on the substitution of license application is correct as indicated. His position is as general manager, as I've stated, and he's had that position for 17 years. He's agreeable to serving as a qualifying applicant. He understands the risks. He's aware that as the qualifying applicant, he can be held financially available for violations of the license, and perhaps more importantly, also understands that conceivably he could be required to serve any prison sentence imposed as a result of violations. He would indicate to you he's willing to undertake that risk. His lengthy association with the Franios, his dedication to the restaurant as evidenced by his long association with it. And because he is the general manager and has been and plays a major role in assuring and accepting responsibility for operation, including compliance with all alcoholic beverage license regulations, he is willing to take the role, if you will, of stepping in as the qualifying applicant and understands, as I said, the risks involved.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Christoph. Does anybody have any questions about this this addition of licensee? No?
I have none. Congratulations, Kevin, on your new position. I vote that we approve.
Yeah, and I
I'll
second. It,
All right.
it's well deserved, and no one should have any question about that. So, Kevin, welcome.
Good luck.
I don't know what to say except it's well deserved. So thank you for just being you the last, I don't know, 17, 18 years.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, members of the board. I appreciate that.
All right, all those in favor say aye.
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 All right, the request is approved. Congrats, Kevin. Thanks, guys, for being here.
Congrats.
you.
Thank you so much.
Happy holidays. Have a great night.
Have a good one.
Too.
All right, we'll combine items 5 and 6. These are 2 requests by Maryland Hall for special Class C one-day liquor licenses. The first is for a celebration of Christmas scheduled for Friday, December 9th, 2022 from 6 to 10 p.m. The second is for the Annapolis Symphony Orchestra holiday scheduled on Friday, December 16th, 2022 from 6 to 10 p.m. Both events taking place at 801 Chase Street, Annapolis, Maryland, 21401. Dennis, good to see you tonight. If you could put your name and address on the record for us and tell us a little bit about these events.
Sure. Dennis Coughlin, 801 Chase Street, Annapolis, Maryland. These are 2 of the highlights of the Annapolis area scene. The celebration of Christmas by the Live Arts and the Holiday Pops by the Annapolis Symphony Orchestra. And we'd like to request a one-day liquor license for each of those to serve beer, wine, and water for about an hour before. And then each of them will have an intermission for about 15 minutes. We'll reopen for that. And then we will close down for the evening and let them enjoy their concerts.
All right, same setup as always, huh?
That's correct. We have a new community space now, which is really nice. So instead of worrying about things, getting jostled in one of our art galleries, have a nice, beautiful new community space that we use. It's still on the 2nd floor, so it's still right by the main entrances to the theater. It's really quite a spot. If anybody comes over, we'll happily show it to you.
All right. Does the board have any questions regarding these 2 requests?
Can you describe the size of the community space? Actually,
I think right now we're at about 80 by 24 or something like that. Have a big, huge 85-inch TV screen, which right now has the Yule log on it. For anybody at Christmas time, you'll see the fireplace above it. And it's nice 1932 hardwood floors that were restored during the pandemic when we had a lot of time to do a lot of other stuff because we weren't doing anything else. And we have nice sofas and chairs in there, some stand-up tables, and as well as history of the building from the time that Maryland Hall became Maryland Hall in 1979, all the way through the naming of our new executive director last March.
so if you wouldn't mind explaining, coming from the west, where I think a lot of people seem to enter from the roadway, from the parking lot.
Mhm.
Can you describe where exactly?
I think most people enter in the big parking lots. It's the north parking lots. So if you enter just north, or if you come up the main grand staircase by the flagpoles, if you come in, you would take a left-hand turn and it'd be the second room down on the right-hand side, on the left-hand side, excuse me, it's the left-hand side right next to my office, and it's a gorgeous space. We had a couple memorial services in there. We have staff meetings in there because that's great for Zoom meetings and things like that, because that big screen makes it really easy for everybody. And it's really quite a nice spot.
All right. Any additional questions regarding these requests?
I'd like to move a motion forward to approve.
I'll second.
All right. All those in favor say aye.
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 All right. The request is granted. Have fun, Dennis. Thanks so much.
Thank you all. Merry Christmas, everybody.
Thanks, Ms. Dennis.
All right. Julian, is Mr. Hyatt here? It looked like he came in.
He is indeed, yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, then we'll do his. We have a request to reinstate an alcoholic beverage license by Blue Bistro LLC, trading as Soul Restaurant. This is located at 509 South Cherry Grove Avenue, Annapolis, Maryland, 21401. And I see Mr. Hyatt is muted right now, but here it comes.
Here we go.
Hey, Mr. Hyatt, if you could put your name and address on the record, and then I'll have your clients do the same.
Okay, Alan Hyatt, 200 Westgate Circle in Annapolis, on behalf of Blue Bistro LLC. and licensees Misty Dragano and David Powell.
Okay, and Misty, if you could give us your full name and address, and then Dave, I'll have you do the same, okay?
Sure, it's Misty Dragano and my address is 2654A Queen Anne Circle, Annapolis 21403.
All right, thank you.
Dave Powell, same address, 2654A Queen Anne Circle in Annapolis, Maryland, 21403.
All right, Mr. Hyatt, we'll turn it over to you.
All right, thank you for hearing us tonight. The background here is that Misty and Dave, through their LLC, Blue Bistro LLC, opened the restaurant known as Soul. And that is right off of Cherry Grove and Forest Drive in the same shopping center where the Lido's Pizza is. And they operated it for about 7 years. And you never had any problems with them in front of you in terms of their license. But you know, as time went on, the operation became less and less successful. So the licensees decided to try another style of operation, a Latino type of restaurant. And they closed the operation in July, reopened in October, did some cosmetic work, changed the name to Sabor Latino, working with someone to assist them with this style of operation. But what they didn't do is inform this board. And you know, that is a mistake, and they now understand that. So and the license was surrendered because of the violation. And what my request is tonight is under 2.6B, there's an opportunity to continue a license while a licensee goes through a restructure or a reorganization. And we're not entirely sure how the reorganization is going to be structured. It is likely that the current licensees will remain as owners, but not 100% owners. We expect them to remain as licensees, but there may be somebody else that's going to come on board. So, you know, first and foremost, we apologize for violating the rule. And second, we would respectfully ask to allow the license to be reinstated and give us, you know, the rule says a reasonable time. You know, we may be able to get back in front of you in January, but, you know, depending upon your scheduling, it could drift into the next meeting. So I don't want to, you know, have too much of a time limitation. I'm suggesting, you know, not to exceed the February meeting, that we will be back with the plan as we finalize it. And but in the meantime, you know, what they've gone through is, because they've changed the name and reopened, all new inspections from the fire marshal, health department, everything is, you know, it's been an ordeal. And then they don't have their alcoholic beverage license. So given the fact that they've run a clean operation all these years, and yes, they made a mistake under the rules, but, you know, we acknowledge it and we're trying to get it sorted out. So that's really the story. And Ms. Dragano and Mr. Powell are available if you have any questions for them. But that's the ask for tonight.
Okay. And correct me if I'm wrong, Mr. Hyatt, but Mr. Powell and Mr. Grano are going to stay on as owners in some capacity. We just don't know what that capacity is.
Right. We haven't finalized exactly how that's going to work yet, but yes, that's correct.
Yeah. And I will say that will be specifically to run the operation, to make sure that all of our licensing is kept up to date, to kind of oversee the tips training we've already scheduled and had new employees who are planning to start working for us under this new concept. They've been tip trained, they've been safe serve stained. So that is going to be our priority, and making sure that everything runs as clean as it has been for the past 7 years.
Okay. And are you both currently active in the business?
Yep.
Are you on site? Okay.
Yeah. So I handle all the marketing, the communications, the finance, all the back end stuff. Dave has been since day one, the executive chef, running everything in the kitchen, running everything in the front of the house, overseeing the bar. So he's on site and I handles all the back side.
Okay. All right, Mr. Lyles.
Yes, sir, Mr. Chair. One of the things that our office, who provides staff support to the board, needs clarification on is the name of the restaurant.
Yep.
The letter seems to suggest that they want to operate under a name different from the name that applied for the liquor license. I do not think that's appropriate or proper for the reasons that even set up the application process. There is a name for the establishment, there is a name for the owners, and all of that has to track such that if there are any problems, issues, underage drinking, there's somebody to go after. The name on the application before the board has to be consistent with the name that is being used in the public sphere. And I'm confused by the letter because it seems to suggest they want to continue to operate under Sabor Latino, but they don't have permission from this board to operate under any other name other than Soul to serve alcohol.
Right. And so our request would be to allow us to use that trade name during the period of time during this transition. But the LLC stays the same and the licensees stay the same.
And we've, just to add to that, we've already gone through the process of setting up a second trade name under the Blue Rooster, the Blue Bistro corporate entity has now the new trade name for Sabor Latino. So we're still 100% owning Blue Bistro LLC. We own it, we operate it. We've gone through with the city and the corporate structure to add on that trading name, and doing business as that. So we would love to be able to, I mean, right now we're just sitting here with, a fairly large rent payment every month that we can't operate with.
Yeah, Mr. Lyles, go ahead.
Yeah, the issue is that your rules and state law provide that any change to the application that was submitted to get approval for the liquor license must come back to the board. I'm not sure if this board has the authority without a reapplication or a request to review any of the changes that are suggested here to do it just by fiat without any paperwork or applications. And the problem that looking at from the city perspective is if something goes wrong at the location, who owns the liquor problem or the liquor issue? Is it the business that's on the sign, or is it the business that's on the application? And at this point, they're asking for two different things to occupy the same space. So I think the board should need some clarification on that issue.
I think and I understand the concern, but it's the same LLC, so it's the same tax ID numbers and everything else, and we're just asking for a different trade name. And I've seen trade names change before when the licensees remain the same and the entity remains the same. And obviously, when we come back in, there'll be a restructure with different. The LLC will probably be owned by. In addition to Ms. Dragano and Mr. Powell, somebody else is likely to be involved. And then, we would ask the board to approve that. But right now we're asking for this time to reorganize and allow them to trade under this new name, but everything else is the same.
I mean, we haven't changed anything in that spot. It's some paint on the walls, a new menu, and that's it, and a new name. And we're still 100% in charge of, and will continue to be. It's just, we're ready to open for whatever food. We're just struggling right now, and we're not doing anything new. We're just changing the name, and we tested out a new concept. And in terms of food, we have a full liquor license to serve beer, wine, and alcohol. It's the same thing. We're not asking for any new changes to that. We're really just trying to get back open and run a restaurant with a slightly different food menu. And to your point, Mr. Lyles, I mean, we're still in charge. Blue Bistro is still the entity that's in charge.
Yeah, Mr. Lyles, go ahead.
Yeah, and that's why I would like clarification, because here's the problem. The fact that you use the term trade name means that there is some trading of alcohol going on. And so how is the public to designate who is actually trading them alcohol? Is it Blue Bistro and Soul, which is on your current application, or is it this other entity which will be on a new sign? So someone walking in, how would they know who's responsible for serving underage alcohol, or serving alcohol inappropriately, or serving past the time that the rules allow under your application? All of these things to me need to be clarified. And I'm not sure that a letter does it without an application to change any of the things that the rules require a full application and process before this board.
Well, I understand the concern, but I think there's a difference in just changing a trade name when you have the same licensees and the same owner. I mean, clearly they're responsible. As licensees, they're responsible, and trade names sometimes change. I don't think that involves anything other than putting the liquor board on notice. I think it's we're not doing a transfer. We're at this point in time, we're not substituting licensees. I think that you have the same people responsible that have always been responsible. So
I have nothing further. I mean, the explanation makes sense to me, Mr. Chair. I think it's for the board's due consideration.
Sure, I appreciate it, Mr. Lyles, and thank you, Mr. Hyatt. And I think that we can take the November 7th letter from Mr. Hyatt to indicate it's kind of twofold request. It's a request to revive the license, and then effectively a change in trade name request as well. Cindy, did you have something to say? I saw you raised your hand a bit ago.
Just that I think the rules and regulations say when you do a trade name change that you have to do that officially. I don't even have anything in the file that says they've legally changed the name of the business license. I don't have anything that reflects that name except
we can provide you. We have a new trader's license for Blue Bistro that we can provide you a copy with tomorrow.
Blue Bistro or Salvatore Latini?
I'm sorry, we have a trader's name that says Blue Bistro now is the owner of the new trade name Sabor Latino. So we do have that document. I can get that over to you first thing tomorrow morning.
And Cindy, is there anything else that typically is provided when there's a trade name change? I know normally we get a formal letter or formal request saying we're asking to change the trade name. I think if this board, if we consider this letter from Mr. Hyatt to be, both a request to revive and a trade name request, what's the other documentation that's necessary to formally change the trade name, knowing that the limited liability company and the licensees are going to be the same?
Just to make sure that the board has the copy of the new business license. That
okay, just okay. I just wanted to make sure there wasn't anything else. Okay, all right. Well, Mr. Lyles, do you have anything else right now, or can I turn it over to the board for some questions?
I'm comfortable
okay.
with the submission. I think that will work.
Okay, thanks. Does the board have any questions, either of Mr. Hyatt or of Mr. Grano or Mr. Powell?
Honestly, I defer to Mr. Lyles. I mean, as long as he is comfortable, I mean,
I have to agree with Kia.
Yeah, I mean, as long as he's okay with it.
I'm kind of smiling. This kind of discombobulated. So as long as my feeling is the same as Kia's, as long as Mr. Lyles is fine with it, then.
Well, Mr. Chair, the rules, as Cindy so aptly stated, it does require a filing. And up until now, we didn't have that filing. And so with all due respect to their legal counsel, very capable counsel, the paperwork has to match up with the request. But if the request, the application comes, then we're good to go, I think, staff wise.
Is there a specific form? Sorry to interrupt you, Mr. Lyles. I didn't mean to cut you off there. Is there a specific form that needs to be filled out, Cindy?
No,
or
I
is
think
it-
it's just linking up the fact that these owners own this new name.
Sure.
And that's really the issue, because from the standpoint of enforcement, it's who you enforce against. If these folks pick up and go to California and have sold the business, changing a name on a sign could mean that. And so all we're asking is that the things that they're saying here, that they own it, that they put that in the file, and that's not a problem. And Cindy can append the file that these owners, same owner, everything's the same except the trade name, and I think we'll be satisfied.
Okay.
Therefore, based on that, can I make a motion to approve based on those conditions?
Yeah, is there a second?
Second.
Second.
All right. All those in favor say aye.
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 All right, the request is granted. If you guys could get that paperwork over to Miss Gaines by tomorrow, that would be very, very much appreciated.
And Cindy, Ms. Gaines, just to confirm, you need the trader's license that shows Sabor Latino is owned by Blue Bistro LLC, and then we're good to go. We will see you tomorrow.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you all
Mr.
very much.
Chairman and
Really
everyone who
appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thank you all.
Okay, good night.
Thank you.
All right. Last but not least, we have a request for consumption of alcoholic beverages on city property for the Stanton Community Center. It's a birthday party. This is going to be with music to Jose Hernandez for a birthday party scheduled for, December 11th, 2022 from 6 p.m. to midnight, 92 West Washington Street, Annapolis 21401. Jose, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, great. Thanks. If you could just give us your full name and address for the record.
Yeah, my name is Jose Hernandez. I live in 220B Hilltop, apartment 205 in Annapolis, the zip code 21403. And yeah, I request permit for a birthday party. This is not the first time I do this. I've been doing this party for probably like seven years. I used to do it before on the night of Pythians, and over here by let me see, what is it called? The place on, I think I got it here, the American Legion. So, I got like idea doing before.
All right. Whose birthday party is it? Is it your birthday?
Yeah, now it's my birthday. Yes.
Oh, nice. What's the clientele going to be like? How old are most of the patrons going to be? Over 21?
Yeah, they're mostly over 21. Basically, it's only friends and family. We're only gonna serve a beer, only Modelo beer, nothing else. And the party start. I rent the place by 6 o'clock to midnight, say, but we're probably gonna start by 7 to 10:30, something like that, or 11, the most late, because we have to clean the place. We have to make sure everything is clean before we left the place. So.
All right. And I see you got a DJ coming. They're going to be wrapped up before midnight.
Before midnight, yeah. Like I said, probably the party stop like 11.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
Definitely.
All right. Does the board have any questions about this party?
Jose, do you have security for that night?
Yes, I hired True Security. I got the company. I hired True Security. It's a company. They're gonna take a True Security. They had the license for crossbar, all that. So they go this company that I hiring already for True Security to make sure everything is good.
My question is how is liquor actually going to be monitored? Like, I don't know, like who's going to be actually serving the alcohol, and do they realize that they need
always when it's my birthday, sometimes I do it myself. It's mostly family and friends. I know it's my birthday. I'm supposed to sit down there, but mostly I'm there to attend people. It's like basically family party.
Okay.
But plus I got my wife too, and I got other friends that make sure everything not to serve it to underage people.
Well, I guess that's my question is how are you going to make sure that underage people will not be served?
Well, actually, I was thinking when I hired the security already, I told them, but my family, I told them, this like old people, I don't know if they bring the kids, but I make sure they ask for, I want the security asking for ID on the entrance for, but I know sometimes they're taking kids, but, I got another server that they're going to check, to help me to, watch the place, everything.
Okay, and the bartenders, the person that's going to be serving besides potentially yourself.
Yeah, it's choose server. They used to work in Latino place. They got the experience how to serve an alcohol too.
Okay. All right. That's just a bit of a concern for me, but
yeah, this
you
like
understand where I'm coming from, right?
Kind of hard for me to explain. Maybe kind of nervous, but like I said, if you can check my record, I've been doing this kind of party couple years, and I never has problem. Thanks God, but I made sure everything's going good.
You assure us of that everything will be good?
Yes, promise. Everybody can come over. We're gonna have a lot of food.
All right. We're coming. We're coming.
Dick might take you up on that. You're going to see him. Don't worry.
Yeah.
He is going to drive.
All right.
Chairman.
Yeah.
I move that we approve this.
There's a second?
I'll second.
All right. All those in favor say aye.
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 All right, Jose, your request is granted. Have fun. Be safe.
Thank you very much. Thanks, everybody.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Thank you. Merry Christmas, everybody. Thank you very much. Thank you.
All right. That's all we have for
Who's Audrey Lee?
Hey,
Yeah, Mr. Chair, we have one more.
yeah, one more.
Oh.
Yeah, I updated the agenda and sent you, well, one more was added.
Well, let me pull
Because they don't forget me.
Hold on. Sorry.
Actually,
Hi, Audrey. We have not forgetting. We're not forgetting you.
No, that's my
Thank
fault.
you. Thank you. Thank you. And thank you for tagging me on to the end of your agenda tonight. I appreciate it so much.
Hold on. Let me just pull it up. Sorry about that. Why don't I have it? You sent it yesterday, Cindy?
you're muted, Cindy. We can't hear you.
Same day I sent out the original packet, I sent an updated email with an updated agenda adding her. You don't see it?
No, I can't see it. I'm sorry. I have so many emails though that I might not.
Do you have it, Kia?
Sorry, I'm looking. I know I saw
Yes,
it.
it's called Inner West Street.
All right, we
I got it here.
Okay.
Let me see. I could probably
Okay,
send
all
it
right.
to you.
Here we go. I got the application. We've got a request for consumption of alcoholic beverages on city property by the Inner West Street Association. Miracle on West Street, Budweiser, Clydesdale event prior to the Military Bowl, Tuesday, December 27th, 2022, from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. And we have Miss Lee present for this event. Miss Lee, could you please give us your name and address for the record?
Audrey Lee, it's 1317 St. Stephen's Church Road, Crownsville, Maryland, 21032.
All right, thank you so much. Sorry that I almost skipped you.
That's all right.
If you could just go ahead and let us know about this event, that'd be great.
Yeah, so I'm in charge of the events for Inner West Street. I started this past year, and so I've got my feet wet with First Sundays and the Dinner Under the Stars, etc. I think I met you back in January a long time ago. But anyway, we've been honored with having the meet and greet with the Clydesdale Budweiser horses. So we're really excited about that. That's the day prior to the Military Bowl and the parade on the 28th. And so we're going to have a meet and greet. We have truckloads of horses and a carriage coming. And we're gonna have them led down Inner West Street, up around Church Circle and back down. And so along with Budweiser horses, we would like to have Budweiser beer and wine on the street from Calvert to Church Circle within that area. So we do have security guards hired. We're going to have a point of sale where we're going to have wristbands sold and IDs checked. So they'll get a ticket and then a wristband in order to purchase beer and wine.
All right, and you've done this in the past, right?
Yeah, well, we do other events on Inner West
Right.
Street, and I mean we do stuff all the time on the street. So yes,
Right.
I'm very familiar with security guards and making sure the limits of the beers and drinks do not go off the property or past the security points.
Perfect. Does the board have any questions about this request?
No, my only comment is it's actually one of the most unique activities in this city. And I've personally seen it myself before, and just thank you for organizing it and making it happen.
Sure.
I think it's really, really important to have them. The Clydesdales make all the difference in the world to everyone, from every echo, every situation that everybody is in, even after COVID, or during it, just they make a difference, and it's magical, and it has a lot to do with the time of year. So you guys have been very successful in the past, and I just want to give you props and say thanks, and it's really needed right now. So,
And who doesn't cry at the Clydesdale commercials?
even when it's Budweiser.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Anyway, yes.
I
Thank you
move
very much.
I move for approval.
Are you moving? Okay.
Yep.
I second.
All right, all those in favor say aye.
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 Thank
All
you.
right.
That
Thank
was
you.
a
I'll
long
see you on the
motion.
27th.
Yeah. Thank you.
All right. Thank
Yeah,
you.
thanks so much.
All right.
All right, I didn't miss anybody else, did I? That was it. Okay, gotcha. All right.
Gun time now?
Who else is up here? All right. Well, we have a couple things to talk about in an executive session. So I make a motion that we go off the record and reconvene in an executive session.
Second.
I'll second.
All right. All those in favor say